Art is subjective. This applies in both sides of the house because the purpose and meaning behind a specific type of art depends on what kind of audience is consuming that type of media. This means that there are few mediums of art with lesser audience compared to something worldwide like pop music, who is enjoyed by many in all corners of the globe. Suffice to say, not everybody enjoys the same type of art. And not all types of art would be as popular as the other, and therefore not all art is able to win the limited amount of recognitions award shows offers. On our side of the house, we believe that award shows do not impose a harm within the artistic or the creative fields. Let me elaborate. Two quick clarification on the motion, because PM has twisted this in a way where award shows are seen as some sort of a device that ruins an artist's career. Firstly, PM said that executives would call their artists useless and worthless simply because they cannot rack in profits because they have not yet made art that sell. Therefore, in order for artists to be able to generate money and be recognized in award shows, artists would have to change their style of music, for example, and cannot stay true to themselves and their integrity simply because they are in dire need of survival. But understand how even if award shows are non-existent, artists that have sold nothing from their music would still have to change their brand. Even for artists who have reached the ranks of Billboard Top 100 or Top 200, still rebranded themselves so that they could gain a broader audience. For example, Ariana Grande debuted with an album that showed her innocent side, and it debuted in Billboard's Top 200. But for her next album, she rebranded herself with a more mature concept to gain more recognition and expand her fan base even further. Secondly, PM states that if artists wants to win awards, they would fit themselves in the most popular trend at the time and blend in with the norm, and that their art would become basic. PM has made an unnoticed mistake with this argument because earlier, they also mentioned that artists should always stay true to themselves and stick to doing whatever they want to do. But if an indie artist, for example, only makes music that attracts bedroom pop lovers for their entire career, wouldn't that also make their entire discography basic and uninteresting? In status quo, trends change constantly, like how pop music reached its peak in 2016, but now Gen Z is more likely to listen to the indie genre. And with this change in trend, it allows artists to always create new music or new artwork, whatever type of art they are involved in, and expand their fan base, as well as diversify their discographies with something different. 3 point of rebuttals on side proposition against PM. Firstly, PM said that there are fans who would criticize an artist simply because they have not had an award handed out to them, and fans redeem these artists as trashy and that they do not create good quality music. This is such a false characterization of an artist who does not have an award under their name. One of the biggest and most talented rap star in our time is Nicki Minaj, who has never won a single Grammy award, yet she has a stable fan base and is still thriving in her industry. Secondly, they propose that the Perimeter Award should only be limited to the recognition of their fans because artists would feel happy and satisfied because there are still people who love them for who they are and for the unique music or films that they create. But let's draw the comparison here, Judge. In government's world, artists would be happy just by making their fans happy, but they would not be able to expose themselves to a broader audience, and therefore the income they generate would be stagnant. These artists would not be able to stay in the industry for long due to its competitiveness. In our world, though, even if artists would have to change the way their art looks compared to what they wanted it to be in the first place, they would have the chance to make their art to what they want it to be once they have already gained a stable fan base later on in their career. And at least they would still have enough money to last their careers longer. Thirdly, PM said that awards can be bought by executives who can manipulate the winners since they have the power to do so. But even if this is true, it would backfire on them so badly because nowadays everything can be spread through the internet. These executives would have to face backlash from the fan base who felt like they got robbed of the awards, that their artists did not win the award that they should have won. So what is the weighing here, Judge? We think that it is entirely impossible for someone to win an award through nepotism because people will find out, and artists would obviously have to keep an image, and they cannot risk such rumors to ruin their career. Response is done. Let's move on to our arguments. I have two main arguments that I would like to forward in this debate. The first is the basis of capitalism, and the second is the happiness of the artist. On to my first argument then about the basis of capitalism and why art is not excluded from having to participate in our capitalistic society. The premise of this argument is how there will always be an individual or an entity that funds an artist's artwork, and the purpose of each art differs from one another, but they all have one main goal, and that is to generate revenue because of capitalism based on what trends that affects consumer choices. So basically, capitalism relies on two things, right? The amount of revenue it generates and the consumer, or like the people that would absorb that art, that would consume that art. Firstly, awards and recognitions can serve as an incentive within a capitalistic system. How? Award shows have become a platform where many talented artists compete for a position that gives them the title of Best Director or Best Actor. But these awards are usually limited to one person only every single year, and obviously we cannot hand out awards just to anyone because then that would defeat the whole purpose of a competition where only one clear winner should be announced. With these awards on the line, actors and actresses would continuously partake in acting in movies in order to increase their chances of winning an Oscar, as well as how filmmakers would have to invest more in research to make a film that stamps their name on the history of winners in the BAFTAs. They will be so eager to get recognition because this serves as their credibility to their work. Artists and filmmakers are more likely to produce high-quality work because they have the potential to be rewarded with something that serves as a self-validation. Secondly, it is so weird for PM to call art subjective, but they pick and choose on who should win an award and who does not deserve to win it, claiming their work as basic. Yes, awards often recognize groundbreaking works, such as Christopher Nolan's Interstellar, for example. But awards would obviously be awarded to someone who dominated the music industry in summer of 2021. What kind of music did we hear in summer 2021? And that is the songs coming from Olivia Rodrigo's Sour album. So there isn't any specific trend on what kind of music wins best album or what kind of movie wins best animation because trends come and trends go. Consumers have the freedom to choose whatever they want from a wide range of movies, songs, and paintings, so there will still be different markets and not everybody would make the same template for movies and not everyone would make the same pop songs every year. On to my second argument then about the happiness of the artist. 3 simple hosts of analysis in this argument then. Firstly, the entire prospect of winning awards would most definitely improve an artist's work because they would finally have the motivation to excel and pursue bigger recognition after knowing that their work has been acknowledged by their fans, the academy, and the industry as a whole. So awards would serve as a purpose for them to actually make good music because then only good music would win an award. Second, by achieving recognition through awards, it would expose the artist to the outside world even more, reaching an audience who may not have known who they are prior to receiving the awards. Therefore, artists would have an increase in popularity and a better career advancement. An example of this would be, as I previously mentioned, Ariana Grande or maybe BTS, who rebranded themselves with now a more westernized music so that they would appeal to the West market even more. Lastly, are the financial benefits that would come once they have received a recognition or an award. When an artist wins an award, a lot of people would be interested in giving their music or their movies a try. So this would definitely generate a higher income for the artist and it would ensure them a financial stability so that they could stay in the industry longer and do the things they love most for a longer period of time. For these reasons, we are so proud to oppose.